Hi, my name is Robin Gammon and I work for University of Missouri Extension. I'm a nutrition and health education specialist. I am headquartered in Cooper County, but I also serve Morgan and Montauk County. And today my two helpers are my kids. I'll have them introduce themselves.
My name is Ella and I'm 8 years old. My name is Lois and I'm 5.
All right, and we are excited to be with you today for the 4-H Quarantine Cooking Connection. Today we are going to make one of our favorite foods to make together. What are we going to make, guys?
Pancakes.
Pancakes. We love to make pancakes at home. This is a great recipe for young chefs like Ella and Lewis to learn how to cook. If you are out there and you are trying this out, you want to make sure that you have an adult there to help you out. And today we're going to use one of our new favorite recipes. It is orange oatmeal pancakes. And it comes from Cooking Matters. And you can actually find the recipe by visiting cookingmatters.org or by clicking on the link below. Hopefully you can find it below there. All right, so first what we're going to do is wash our hands. And when you do that, you want to make sure to wash your hands for 20 seconds on the front, and the back, and between your fingers. We've already done that, so we'll skip that step. And then the next thing that you want to make sure to do is clean your surfaces. So wipe down your counters. Today we have this table here. We have cleaned it, and we have this tablecloth on top that we have put on the table. Because we have a saying in our house that a clean kitchen is a
good kitchen.
Yes, so we want to make sure that everything is nice and clean and sanitary when you're cooking. All right, so next, now that you've cleaned your hands, you have cleaned the surfaces, we want to get all the ingredients out. So what you can do is measure those out by using the recipes. And what I'll do is I'll go over each item in the recipe and you can follow along with us. And I'll make sure to note any substitutions that you can make in the recipe. So for the first item on the ingredient list, we have the all-purpose flour. So we have 1/2 cup of the all-purpose flour here. And then we have 1/2 cup of the whole wheat flour. So you might not have whole wheat flour at home, and that's okay. And if you don't, you could just go ahead and do another 1/2 cup of the all-purpose flour. So a total of 1 cup of flour would be fine. And then we have, and make sure, one thing to note with the whole grain flour is if you use that, we know that whole grains can be part of a healthy eating style. And anytime you incorporate whole grains, you are reducing your risk of having chronic diseases. So you might be familiar with the My Plate, and the recommendation is to make half your grains whole. And so that's one way that you could do that by using whole grain flour. Okay. And then in the recipe, we have the 1/2 cup of quick oats. So quick oats oats are also a whole grain. So again, making this recipe a healthy option when cooking. If you don't have quick oats, one thing that I'm substituting here is I'm substituting 1/2 cup of steel cut quick oats, which will work fine too. All right, and then next we have the baking powder, salt, and those are our dry ingredients. And then we'll also need an egg, orange juice, got orange juice here. And orange juice, I think, is actually the secret ingredient that makes this recipe extra special. And it really gives it a really good flavor, of orangey flavor. And the great thing about orange juice is it has vitamin C in it. And vitamin C is really good because it can help heal your cuts or your wounds. It also keeps your teeth and gums healthy. So the orange juice makes this recipe extra special. And then we have the milk, 1/2 cup of milk, and our oil, And then the non-stick cooking spray. We actually don't have non-stick cooking spray, but what you could do is get some, if you have some oil, just put a little bit on like a paper towel or something, and then you could just put it on your pan to make the pancakes. So quickly we'll go over the materials that you need. 2 large bowls, one for your dry ingredients and your wet ingredients. A fork to whisk your egg. A large skillet, like I have here. We are actually going to be using the electric griddle, which I'll show you in a moment, because we find that to be easier, especially for a family of 4, to make them all on one griddle. But if you don't have that's totally okay. You can make it on a skillet. And we'll need measuring cups, liquid and dry, and then measuring spoons and a spatula. And then once you have all those things, we are ready to get started. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna have my helpers do each step. So Ella, I'm gonna have you in the dry ingredients. Go ahead and combine the flours, both the whole wheat and all purpose. Good. And then we'll put the oats in. And you could go ahead and put the baking powder that we measured out. Good. And the salt. Okay, so next what you can do is you can take your spoon, mix it up together. You want to mix it well. Okay, and Lewis, while she's doing that, I'm going to have you crack the egg. We're going to crack it in this bowl. Anytime you are cracking eggs, it's good to do a practice. Don't put it in the big bowl. You want to crack it in a smaller bowl just in case you get shells. And Lewis, you did an excellent job. And you can take a towel. We'll wash your hands here in a minute. And while you do that, you could whisk up the egg. Good. So he's going to use the fork as a little bit of a whisk to kind of beat that egg together. Good. Now that you made sure that you didn't get any shells in the small bowl, after whisked up, you can put it in the big bowl. I'll take that. Can you dump it in this bowl right here? Good. Great job. All right. Next, we're going to combine the orange juice, the milk. We'll have you dump that in there. There's this. The milk. Good. And the oil. All right. Good job. You're going to mix this well. Mix it with a different spoon. Okay, so the next step in the recipe is to coat a large skillet with nonstick cooking spray. And so again, you could take a paper towel, a little bit of oil, coat your pan, and then you want to heat it over medium-high heat. And again, we're going to use the electric griddle in just a minute, so we're going to show you that here soon. So next, you're going to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. So Lewis, you want to quickly pour it so it doesn't dribble down the side of the bowl. So Lewis, can you add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients? Quickly, there you go, perfect. All right, and you're gonna Ella's going to stir it just until the ingredients are moistened. So you don't need to stir it a whole bunch. Yes, that is great. And so this recipe calls for 1/4 of a cup of your pancakes when you put that on the griddle or the pan. So one trick that we have learned is to use a 1/4 of a cup measuring cup, so you know exactly how much to make for each pancake. And so this recipe makes 6 4-inch pancakes. So we actually eat a lot of pancakes at our house, so sometimes we actually will double this recipe. That way we make sure to have lots of pancakes. And if we do have extras, they freeze really well. So that's what we normally do, is we double the recipe. All right, so looks like we have all the ingredients mixed together. And so now we're going to pause and get our electric griddle set up for all of you. So just hang on tight. All right, we are back. We have our electric griddle all warmed up and ready to go. For our electric griddle, the recipe does say to warm it up to 375. Ours seems to be pretty powerful. We've known that 375 kind of burns them. So we warm ours up to 325. And so it's warm and ready to go. So you want to make sure to be real careful and not touch it. And now we have, so the batter is all mixed together. And one thing I forgot to mention is that if you are a fan of nuts, you can actually add 3 tablespoons of your favorite nuts to the batter, and it makes it really delicious. So if you like pecans or walnuts, that's one thing you could definitely add to the recipe, as long as no one is allergic to nuts. All right, so again, it calls for 1/4 of a cup for each pancake. So I'm gonna have Ella scoop out 1/4 of a cup of the batter. She's gonna put it on the warm griddle. And our griddle is non-stick. And so we did not put any oil on it already. It really doesn't need it. But if you don't have a non-stick griddle, you might need to put some oil on there. All right, so it looks like we have pancake number 1. And so what Ella will do is continue to make pancakes, probably 3 or 4 pancakes, 2 rows of 3 or 4 pancakes using the batter. And we'll come back and we will show you when it starts to bubble. Just a moment. Okay, we are back. As you can see, Ella poured 1/4 cup of the batter and made a total of 8 pancakes here on the electric griddle. And one way that you know that they are ready to be flipped is they start to bubble on top. So we are starting to have them bubble, which it's about 3 to 4 minutes on that side. So Ella's gonna start flipping them. There we go. Good job. So 3 to 4 minutes on one side, and then on this side, it will take about, not as long, 2 to 3 minutes. So we'll go ahead and flip each one of these. Good work. Doing great. Oops. Okay, we'll flip all these and we'll come right back. Okay, so it's been about 2 to 3 minutes on the other side, so they should be done. So Ella, I'm gonna have you dish them up and put them on the plate. Yeah, try not to touch them because they might be a little hot. So maybe if we go like that, good. Good work. All right, perfect. Very nice. So I mentioned before that it makes 6 servings, but one thing that I forgot to say is for this recipe, 1 serving is 2 4-inch pancakes. So actually it makes approximately a total of 12 pancakes, since 1 serving equals 2 pancakes. So we have 8 pancakes here. So just for time, we're going to just show you this is the final product, and we really appreciate you joining us today. We have a challenge for all of you. We want to see the yummy, delicious pancakes that you have made. So please take a picture of you making the pancakes, or maybe take a picture of the final product of your pancakes and include the picture in the comment box below. We would love to see your orange oatmeal pancakes. And from our home to yours, have a great 4-H quarantine cooking experience. Thank you.